Hi, I'm Derek. I am in my first year at Calvary. I'm technically a sophomore in the Pastoral Studies program because I have an associate's degree from Maplewood, so most of those credits transferred over. A little bit about me. I'm currently in the process of becoming a missionary full time in Panama. Um, that will probably happen sometime this summer. Right now, I am in Smithville. Most of my family lives here. I have a younger brother, younger sister. So yeah, it's exciting. Hopefully, I appreciate y'all's prayers. So hopefully, I'm gonna be moving to a town called La Chorrera. It's about 20 miles southwest of Panama City. So we do some church planning, some missions and mobilization work, and stuff like that, and a lot of irons in the fire there. So excited for that. My topic that I will be presenting today is the triunity of God. So the a definition of the Trinity, according to Ryrie's basic theology book, is there is only one and true God, but in the unity of the Godhead there are three co-eternal and co-equal persons, the same in substance but distinct in subsistence. Another definition for subsistence would be necessary existence. So I don't know. I love the thought of the Trinity, and it's just so mind blowing that He's such a relational God that for all of eternity, you see in Father, Son, Holy Spirit that they've been together, they've been in relationship, and how Jesus would give that up temporarily to be accursed there in the Garden of Gethsemane for us, and his desire to be in relationship with each of us. So it's a fascinating concept. It's not explicitly stated in the Bible, the word Trinity, but I mean you can see evidence of it all over. First off, we see in the Old Testament that there is only one God. So in the Shema in Deuteronomy 6, it says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one." Even in the first of the Ten Commandments, we see there shall have no other gods before us, before me. That's what God says to Moses on Mount Sinai. And then Jesus affirms the entire Old Testament in Matthew 5. He talks about how not one jot or tittle, all will be fulfilled. So he wasn't going to try to claim to be some other God. We also see the plurality in the Old Testament. We studied the term Elohim in class, and there's a couple instances of that. Genesis 1:26, when God says, "Let us make man in our image." Also, the Tower of Babel scene in Genesis 11, where God says, "Let us come, let us go down and confuse their language." So you see that. You also see the unity of God in John 10:30, where he says, "I and the Father are one." So they're the same as far as they're equally God, but they're different. And then in the New Testament, we see like Colossians 2:9, for in Jesus dwells all the fullness of the Godhead bodily. We also see examples of the Trinity in the baptism of Jesus in Matthew 3, where you see the Spirit of God descending upon him. Meanwhile, the Father is saying, "Hey, this is my beloved Son, in whom I'm well pleased." So you see Father, Son, Holy Spirit all working there in unity. And then the big one, I think Jesus' Great Commission speech there in Matthew 28:19, where he says, "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit." How he basically talks about them all together, and how that's kind of Jesus's parting words. Basically, is he's affirming the Trinity in one of his final statements, before he ascends into heaven. So my question would be, I think about John 14:28, where Jesus talks about how the Father is greater than he is. So how could, if Jesus is equally God with the Father, then why would he make that statement in John 14:28?